Friends, hello everyone. In this video, we'll explore how Stoic philosophy can help us get rid of laziness, procrastination, and bad habits such as addictions to social media, fast food, video games, and alcohol. These addictions take away our freedom, and we often find ourselves trapped in our own desires and habits. However, the Stoics teach us how to take responsibility and act on our own free will, not under the pressure of external circumstances. If you want to become the best version of yourself, take control of your life and get rid of habits that stunt your growth, this video is for you. At the end, we'll gather practical tips and steps to help you implement these ideas into your daily life. Procrastination as the enemy of freedom. Procrastination is not just putting things off. It is a refusal to accept responsibility for one's life. Often we put off important things because we are afraid of failing, or we seek instant gratification rather than long-term good. It's a habit that kills our productivity and keeps us from moving forward. How did the Stoics combat procrastination? Marcus Aurelius, philosopher and emperor, argued that life is too short to waste it on nothing. He wrote, "You cannot control all events, but you can control your attitude toward them." His wisdom is not to get stuck in expectations and fears, but to act regardless of circumstances. Tips for combating procrastination. Divide big tasks into smaller steps. If you have a difficult task in front of you, divide it into smaller steps. For example, if you need to write a large report, start by finding materials or writing an introduction. Epictetus taught that you should do one thing at a time. When you see concrete steps, it's easier to get started. Use the 5-minute rule. If you don't feel like starting to do a task, agree with yourself that you will work for at least 5 minutes. This method helps you overcome resistance in the beginning. If the 5 minutes pass, you will often keep working. Remember, you don't have forever. The time we spend putting things off is already gone. Marcus Aurelius said, "Don't waste time worrying about what may not happen." This reminder helps you act immediately. Case in point. Imagine you have a project that you've been putting off. Instead of thinking of it as a big stressor, break it down into several steps, such as make a plan, gather materials, etc. This will reduce your anxiety level and help you get started faster. Social media and its impact on our minds. Social media has become an integral part of our lives, but despite its positive aspects, it can be very distracting and affect our perception of the world. We spend a lot of time looking at other people's lives, seeking approval in the form of likes, forgetting our own goals and priorities. How did the Stoics view outside influences? The Stoics taught that it was important to develop an inner resilience to outside influences, including the opinions of others. For example, Seneca wrote, "Don't let other people's words dictate your life." The Stoics believed that we should be independent of the praise or criticism of others, as they can only lead us astray. Tips for controlling your social media use. Set a time limit for social media. Set yourself strict time limits, such as 30 minutes a day. Set a timer so you don't go beyond that time. If you feel like you're starting to spend too much time on social media, it signals that you've given your thoughts over to external factors to control. Practice mindfulness. Before you check your news feed or respond to a post, ask yourself, why do I need this? Do I really need this right now? Seneca advised to always ask yourself these questions to avoid pointless actions. Avoid judging others. The Stoics argued that you should avoid judging others' actions because it brings anxiety. Too much time on social media causes addictive comparisons, which lowers our confidence. Practice gratitude for what you have instead of focusing on other people's successes. Case in point, if you need to focus on an important task, turn off notifications on your phone and limit access to social media. For example, you might agree with yourself that you will only check social media after you've done your work so you don't get distracted by idle distractions. Bad habits and their roots. Fast food, smoking, alcohol, and other bad habits are not just weaknesses. They are a sign that we are not in control of our desires and do not know how to plan our lives. The Stoics believed that discipline was the foundation of well-being. This applies not only to mental discipline, but also physical discipline. How did the Stoics combat bad habits? Seneca often emphasized the importance of abstinence and the ability to control desires. Teach yourself abstinence every day and you will be the master of your life, he said. The Stoics taught that to get rid of bad habits, one must replace them with beneficial activities, rather than simply trying to avoid temptations. Practical tips for getting rid of bad habits. Plan your activities in advance. If you want to get rid of fast food, prepare healthy meals for the day in advance. Stoics teach us to plan our actions so we don't get caught up in the moment. Start small. If you want to quit smoking, don't try to do it in one day. Break the process into several steps, such as reducing the number of cigarettes per day, replacing the habit with something else, such as taking a walk. Practice self-discipline. Remember that every quitting a bad habit is an act of strength. Apply the choice in every moment rule. For example, when you feel like eating something unhealthy, stop and think, is this helping me become a better person? If not, say no. Case in point, if your goal is to get rid of fast food, start by planning your lunches and dinners for the week in advance. Buy groceries for healthy eating so you won't be tempted to stop at a fast food joint when you're hungry. The power of self-control and discipline. Self-control is the foundation of Stoic philosophy. In order to overcome bad habits, procrastination, and addictions, you must learn discipline. This is not an easy task, but the Stoics believed that every day is a new chance to strengthen one's will. How did the Stoics strengthen self-control? Epictetus taught that our choices and our reactions to events are what is truly in our power. He said, "It doesn't matter what happens, it matters how you feel about it." This means that we can't control all external events, but we can control how we react to them. Tips for strengthening self-control. Practice avoiding unnecessary pleasures. Start with simple things. For example, if you want to spend less time on social media, remove the app from your phone's home screen. This small action will increase your control. Use the say no method. Every time you feel like doing something you don't think is appropriate, like eating a sweet, stand for a minute and decide if you really want to do it. This strengthens your ability to resist temptation. Create a reward system. When you achieve your goal, reward yourself with something good, but avoid excessive gratification. This helps keep you motivated. Case in point, if you need to reduce your entertainment time, start small. For example, set a timer for 30 minutes to relax, then go back to work. Transformation through awareness and acceptance. For the Stoics, an important aspect of life was acceptance of what we cannot change. They taught that self-improvement is not a race, but a journey. We must be patient with ourselves, recognize our weaknesses, but not let them control us. How did the Stoics transform themselves? Marcus Aurelius emphasized the importance of self-reflection and analyzing one's actions. In his meditations, he wrote, "Do not do what your soul condemns." This means that it is important to understand your values and follow them, even if it takes effort. Practical tips for transformation. Awareness. Practice self-reflection every day. Ask yourself questions. What did I do well today? What can I improve? This will help you become more conscious of your actions. Accept your weaknesses. Accepting your weaknesses doesn't mean giving up. It means you recognize them and work on improving them. Constant improvement. Work on yourself every day. Even if small changes, they are bound to lead to big results. Case in point, every night before you go to bed, write down 3 things you did well and 1 thing you could improve. This will help you see your progress and become a better person. Friends, the path of transformation is not always easy, but it is possible. The Stoics taught us to be strong, patient, and disciplined. Let each day be a step toward bettering yourself. Apply these principles to your life and don't be afraid to move forward, even if the path is difficult. You are already on your way to success, and you are getting stronger with each step. Thank you for your attention.